so many different religions in this world. How do I choose just one to do a project on? Well, the answer to that question is it wasn't that hard for me because there's a specific religion that stood out to me more than any other one did.
1,000 years just to see you smile again. Kill your prayers for love and peace.
Buddhism is my favorite topic that we've covered in this class, and I've only just begun to understand what it is, who Buddhists are, and what they believe in, and how they live their daily lives. After learning more about Buddhism through this class and through my own studies, I've come to find it's very different than what stereotypes set it out to be. So I asked around to see what people think of when they think of Buddhism.
I think all Buddhists wear robes and meditate.
His answer is incorrect. One of the main practices of Buddhism is meditation. However, very few Buddhists sit in full lotus when they meditate. The Buddha advocated for mindfulness at all times and not just when sitting or in a certain posture. All postures are acceptable and used today.
Fat, bald monks.
The statue of bald fat Buddha is actually a Chinese monk who lived in the 9th century CE. The shaved head is a sign of being a monk or a nun in Buddhist tradition, where it's considered to be one less thing to be attached to. Buddhist followers rarely shave their heads, and most do so for comfort or for fashion.
Aren't they all Chinese?
No, not all Buddhists are Chinese. Is Jennifer Lopez, Steve Jobs, Brad Pitt, and Tiger Woods all Chinese? I don't think so, but they are all Buddhists. These are just a few stereotypes that I uncovered, but there are many more, such as the fact that people think they're all vegetarian, or that they can't desire anything, when really that's false. They're not all vegetarian, and they desire things just like you and I do. So now that we've talked about what Buddhism isn't, let's talk about what it really is. The Four Noble Truths are regarded as a central doctrine of the Buddhist tradition, and are said to provide a conceptual framework for all Buddhist thought. These four truths explain nature of dukkha, which is the first noble truth, that all life is suffering. The second is all suffering is caused by desire. The third is all personal desire, all ambition must be extinguished by the person who wishes freedom from suffering, and it can all be extinguished by walking the path. And the fourth is the path which leads to freedom from suffering is a narrow path. Another basic tenet is the Noble Eightfold Path. Followers must strive to always be on the right path. The first path is the right understanding, then the right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. These 8 paths are a part of 3 themes: good moral conduct, meditation and mental development, and last but not least, wisdom. So now we understand what it is. Let's say you had a thought about becoming Buddhist or just learning more about the religion itself. How do you go about doing that? In Buddhism, there is no God, and to me, that's what makes it so appealing. The only steadfast rule of Buddhism is that you accept the teachings of Siddhartha, also known as Buddha. With Buddhism, you take it or leave it, according to your own personal assessment, without relying on hearsay or tradition. So to become Buddhist, study as broadly as you need to and make up your own mind. Understand and follow the Four Noble Truths, the Eightfold Path, the 5 Precepts, and meditation. Try to find your own interpersonal happiness instead of blindly following the words of others. Buddhism today is very diverse, and it offers teaching and practices that are open to anyone with a little intellectual curiosity and the willingness to accept that this modern world can benefit from this timeless wisdom. And so with that, I leave you a quote. Don't use Buddhism to become Buddhist. Use Buddhism to become better at whatever else in your life you are doing already.